Just wake me up, just wake me up, don't let me down. Just give me coffee. Just wake me up, just wake me up, just wake me up. Push the cold brew. Just wake me up, just wake me up, don't let me down. Give me coffee. Just wake me up, just wake me up, just wake me up. Push the cold brew. Just let me be blunt. My speech in the morning, nothing but grunts. With no coffee, that's as dangerous. On a scale from 1 to 10, I rank it that girl from Stranger Things. And if you get what I'm saying, my attitude be mad flagrant like I'm Draymond. But you ain't get the picture, BFP. So I'm gonna keep pushing on you, GNC. It's like, yeah, the first thing on my mind is when that hot coffee gonna seep into the coffee grind. It's like some magic's floating all in the air. Toss some ice cubes in my cup, it's a good day. All I gotta say is that it's starting in a good way. It's time for working and I don't even care. Just wake me up, just wake me up, don't let me down. Just give me coffee. Just wake me up, just wake me up, just wake me up. Push this cold brew. Just wake me up, just wake me up, don't let me down. Give me coffee. Just wake me up, just wake me up, just wake me up. Push this cold brew. We start fresh, that's how it's gotta be. Everything starts back with your coffee beans. If it's cold brew, then it's gotta be coarse. Don't get the cart ahead of the horse, start learning the course. But of course you can disregard. And don't at me if it gets too hard. Man, it's always on hand. Drink from a cup or a bottle, even a can. You never know when you're craving no hit. It could be in the bathroom while you're taking a Ric Flair while singing. Ain't got nothing on it. When that coffee hits my lips, it's a seance. Feeling real super with the cape on. Anything I'll take on. This cup of coffee, yeah boy, this is the shit. Just wake me up, just wake me up, don't let me down. Just give me coffee. Just wake me up, just wake me up, just wake me up. Push the cold brew. Just wake me up, just wake me up, don't let me down. Give me coffee. Just wake me up, just wake me up, just wake me up. Push the cold brew. So I guess that's where I talk about how we might be addicted in a roundabout kind of way, or how you say, a dependency that's in my life, and I'm proud to say it's filling me with way more energy than I'll ever need, keeping me up for things I thought I'd never see. Time's gonna kill us all one day, whether old age illness or from listening to Coldplay. F that noise, while love, drink all the coffee, chug a lug. The day doesn't start till you're on.
Good morning, all of you beautiful nerds from around the world, and welcome to the morning stream here on the Den of Nerds Live, the very best way to start your nerdy day. On today's show, yes, we're talking some more DC. I've already seen a little bit of people upset about this in the chat. No, you're right. Let's talk about all the amazing amount of Marvel news that's going on. Let's change the show up. So, yeah, we're going to talk about the Joker. We're going to talk about Matt Reeves stuff. This is going to be cool. I'll give some of my opinions about this. And we'll talk about what it means. I also want to talk briefly about the Star Wars game, Project Maverick. According to Bespin Bulletin, the announcement for this game and the footage for this game has been delayed yet again. It will now showcase at EA Plays Live, which I believe is actually happening in the next couple of weeks anyways. But we'll get into that a little bit, and we'll talk about that. So let's say what's up. Let's say good morning to all of the lovely nerds that are in here. Let's see. How are we all doing? Steve Denton's in the building. The Spider-Man Show, Mike Porter, Zachariah Yova's here, Call Me Lore, Sly's in the building, Sam Shills is here, Space Wolf Lounge, ooh, I like that name, Scott Strong, Rob Van Camp, Tara's in the building, Adam from Fanjexture's here, Nightbot's here, Brittany J. Taylor, Justin, Drew. Holy cow, you guys chatted a lot already in here. It's hard for me to even separate the names. A lot of awesome people in here. Holy cow. Oh my goodness. A lot of crazy stuff. Wait, what? What do you mean by all? Did I screw it up? Are we still live? What's going on, everybody? I see you guys. Howdy, howdy, howdy. Don't make me go Heisenberg. Heard that. Oh, is it just Adam that's got to go or whatever? Oh, man. Yeah. This should be fun. Say my name! Okay, Jacob's Quest. Jeez, man. Hey, calm down, would you? Would you calm down? Jeez. Couple of things I want to get into before we get into all the news and all the topics. Number one, we had an incredible community stream last night. That was a really good community stream, man. Martha! Yo, LB's in here. LB from the Lonely Banner's in here. We'll get into Q&A a little bit later, too. You know, I see some questions coming in here. Man, my, ugh. Why are things awful when it comes to technology? We got to do a technology overhaul. Let me try to pop this out again here. Okay. So, number one, I need to say we had this amazing community stream last night. It was a great stream. A lot of just cool discussion, a lot of cool thoughts when it came to the live-action Star Wars stuff. It was really cool. Why was that the last community stream until September? That was the last community stream until September for one individual. I believe it might have been Sam Shills. That it's not the last community stream for us. He was just saying that for him is the last community stream. But yeah, that was a great stream, man. Just a lot of cool insight. You know, I'll say this, like, I love getting together with nerds and just talking about this stuff. And, like, some of the stuff that, like, Freeman was bringing up yesterday, man, cool stuff, man. Cool little theory about the Nile. And I want to just repeat this to everybody that's watching this morning and that watches this on the replay. So, Freeman's theory yesterday, which I thought was so cool, was what if the Nile and those masks... What if the Nile wearing those masks, they actually use animals similar to the Purgle to travel through hyperspace? And they're sort of riding these creatures in space, going through hyperspace. I had never thought about that or considered that, but sign me all the way up for that. That sounds fucking awesome. Riding freaking animals through space that go into hyperspace? That's good. That's good stuff. That's good stuff. So, number one, I just wanted to mention that. It was a great stream. Guys, we do these twice a month now. We've sort of scaled back a little bit. And I can't wait for the next one, honestly. So, make sure you're staying tuned for that. Also, tomorrow night, 8 p.m., the second round of the Nerd Card Showdown is going down on this channel. 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Make sure you are there. This week we have the Ultimate Nullifiers going up against the Fantastic Four. It's going to be a very, very good matchup. I'm really excited for that, okay? Really good stuff. Trev says, sorry I couldn't contribute more. Trev, you contributed beautifully with that polo you were wearing. You were looking sharp, my friend. So that's the dealy-dallies. And then, guys, one last thing before we get into talking about the Joker here. So we did this video on Sunday talking about Project Maverick, okay? Nice little Star Wars Sunday video, which you can find on the main channel. It was really cool, and I'm looking forward to that game. The information that we had at that time was that EA was going to be delaying the announcement of that game. It was originally actually going to be announced last week. Because of the George Floyd protest, they pushed it back a week. Well, according to Bespin Bulletin, they've actually pushed it back again. Now, this straight up, I'm not going to lie, this kind of sucks. Because I was really looking forward to seeing what they were going to announce. I really wanted to talk about it. So that's going to be pushed off. So I'm just mentioning that because I know a lot of the people that watched that video on Sunday are watching this stream right now. And they might be like, yo, where is this Project Maverick announcement? Well, unless things change, it's not happening today. It's not happening today, guys, okay? But we got to get into a bunch of news that a lot of you already talked about yesterday and tweeted us about this. But we're going to talk about it right now. It's the craziest news of the day. Yo, this news is crazy. All right, so exclusive for the Direct. New Joker to be introduced in Matt Reeves' The Batman Trilogy. Let's get in to this article. Hopefully it'll let me scrolly-oly here. And of course not. Chet, why is it doing this? You're really not going to scroll. Okay, cool. Well, I'll just read right from the article, guys, and we'll go from there, okay? So, says here, the iconic caped and cowl has been bestowed on numerous actors in DC cinematic history, and now the torch has been passed to Robert Pattinson, much to my chagrin, who will star as Bruce Wayne in his alter ego in 2021's The Batman. Director Matt Reeves is embracing a different mythos for the Caped Crusader. I hate it. Focusing on his detective skills, I'm okay with that, and set during his early crime-fighting days in Gotham City. Alongside the reveals from Matt Reeves himself, it's clear that the 2021 film will be unlike anything explored before, opening the door to uncharted territory. To date, we all know that the film will include a few of Batman's quintessential adversaries, such as the Riddler and the Penguin, and with Batman's vast rogues gallery, it has spawned theories of future villain appearances. Atop Batman's list of villains is the Clown Prince of Crime. And for fans, it's a matter of when, not if, the Joker will appear opposite Robert Pattinson's Batman. Now, in an exclusive report, the iconic villain is due for his arrival, although it will be a new version to fans alike. These websites got to get better at, like, actually putting sentences together. I understand that the game is, like, get this information out as quickly as possible, but I read 2 paragraphs, and we have 2 massive typos. Now, here's the thing. Whatever. Let's just keep reading. Okay, according to our contributing insider Daniel Richtman, who, by the way, is just dropping scoops like all over. You remember that meme of Salt Bay where the dude's like throwing a bunch of salt on some shit? That's like Daniel Richtman with scoops. He's throwing them everywhere. Everywhere. Okay, Matt Reeves is planning to introduce a new Joker into his Batman trilogy. Reeves is planning for the Joker to appear in the second and third movies as one of the film's multiple villains. This new Joker will be referenced in 2021's The Batman, and casting for the role has not yet begun. Okay, so the article then goes on to talk about a bunch of different things, including the possibility of maybe a crossover with Joaquin Phoenix's Joker, something similar to maybe what they're doing with 3 Jokers. Now, just being honest with you, and this is something I want to reach out to. Let's get back into the chatting chat. This is something I want to reach out and talk to Tara about, actually, because what I want to do is, I know she's really excited for 3 Jokers, which is a big DC event that's coming out. Because, you know, if you didn't know this, at one point in time, there were multiple Jokers in the DC comic book continuity. I believe this was created... It's created. It's not because of the New 52, but it might be something because of Rebirth, where one of the Jokers came back during Rebirth, and there was another Joker. I got to be honest, I'm not 100% sure. But what I want to do is I want to do a video with Tara when I'm going to sit down with her and talk about what they're doing with the 3 Jokers. And of course, where we would go in that video is it possible that DC is looking to do something similar? Not just have multiple Jokers in multiple universes, but actually have them combined. Now, that's a super wild idea. We'll save that for a different video. But the point remains that it appears as though they're going to have the Joker in the second and third movie for Matt Reeves' The Batman, okay? And so, number one thing that I want to ask you guys, you need to let me know in chat right now, are we good with this? Do you want Joker in this Batman trilogy? Are you good with that? On a base level, do you want Joker in the Batman trilogy? Because, you know, this, I really want to just kind of let you guys guide this conversation. That's what I'm saying. Okay, so Michael Butler says that. Look, we'll get into all of my thoughts about this. We're gonna talk about this, and I'm gonna try. I want to make a concerted effort to not just shit on the Batman. Okay, so I'm gonna try not to just shit on the Batman. And I want to just talk about how we feel about this as fans. A lot of interesting stuff going on in the chat, guys. You guys are bringing the spice, and I love it. Okay, so let's go over some of this stuff. So I see no. I see I'm good. I see I need some. We want something new. Yes, I do, says Mike Porter. I'm good. I want Johnny Depp as the new Joker, only if it's Leto. No. Not really. Depends on who is cast. Yeah, because anything is better than Leto Joker. Okay. Interesting chatter here. Does it matter? Do we know if they're even going to get a second and third movie? Well, Adam, I would say for the purposes of this conversation, let's act under the premise that, yes, they will be getting a second and third movie. I don't think it does us any good here to, you know what I mean? Like, I get where you're coming from, but it's not going to help this conversation at all. Do you know what I mean? Willem Dafoe. Let's see here. The more Jokers, the better. Not quite sure. Bit of Joker tired. Mark Hamill live action Joker. Yeah. Okay. So really interesting comments. I think there's a lot of this attitude out there. And my personal thing here, again, I'm just trying to be fair, is like, again, I feel like we keep watching, relatively speaking, the same Batman story over and over and over and over and over and over again. I'm not super down with another Batman trilogy with a new take on Batman, showing his origin story, and ending up in a place where the Joker is the main villain. You know what I mean? That's my personal feeling here, is like, okay. Now, sort of moving past that, I do think that the Joker is one of the coolest characters in comics. 100%. Super cool character. Very interesting. But his dynamic with Batman is more interesting. By the way, I thought this random ass thought that I want to throw at you guys. Robert Pattinson would be a better Joker than Batman. You know, I should probably done the hot take thing for that, right? But I got to be honest with you. Robert Pattinson would make a better Joker than Batman, in my opinion. Okay? Now, having said all of that, I would be interested in a new interpretation of Joker. So let me ask you this. Let's ask the chat this. How do you guys feel about Johnny Depp being Joker for Matt Reeves' Batman trilogy? How do you guys feel, or how would you feel about Johnny Depp being Joker for Matt Reeves' The Batman? A lot of good chatter. Interesting stuff, man. This is some good shit, boys and girls. Okay. Sam Shills says, if he doesn't pull the normal Depp performance, I prefer Macaulay Culkin. Ooh, dude, Macaulay Culkin would be a dope Joker. Or Bill Skarsgård, better than Leto. Love Johnny Depp for anything. I'm a huge Johnny Depp fan. I don't know how I feel about young Batman and almost 60-year-old Joker. Wow, I didn't even think of that, Steve. That's interesting. I don't want another Jack Sparrow. No, thank you. No, just no. Not feeling it. One of the few people with the spice and acting skills to possibly pull this off. Yes, he would be awesome. Not feeling it. Nah, give me Willem Dafoe. I don't think it fits too well. Okay. Man, that's an interesting thing. So it feels like that people are pretty divided on that. Now, look, I get the criticism of Johnny Depp where it's like Johnny Depp just plays Johnny Depp a lot. Is Johnny Depp still in trouble? I don't necessarily know how to answer that, Mike. I'll tell you this. I think that the tides have certainly turned for Johnny Depp. A little Pirates of the Caribbean pun. But yeah, the tides have turned for Johnny. I don't think I don't know how to explain it. I do think that there's been a PR shift for him, and I think that his career is going to take an uptick. This would be huge for him, by the way. Signing as Joker in the new Batman would be huge for him. You know what I mean? A Joker version of the Mad Hatter from Alice in Wonderland. Yeah, no, I get that criticism. I have that same criticism of Woody Harrelson, which is why I really don't like the Beckett character in Solo, because it's just Woody Harrelson. You know what I mean? But Woody Harrelson does actually have range, and so does Johnny Depp. Johnny Depp has range. I've seen him in stuff that he's really surprised me. You know what I mean? And he's done really some surprising work. But I think the majority of the time he's not really doing that great work. You know what I mean? So, man, just such an interesting thing. The way I sort of think of it is, DC, they're certainly not out of the woods yet with their PR problems and with the perception of the studio. And, in some ways, like, I think the Snyder Cut and doing what they're doing on HBO Max is a good thing, and it's going to really help the situation. But I can't help but think, like, again, trying to keep my personal feelings aside about the Batman, I can't help but think, like, we're really gonna just do that again, huh? Like, that's really the take. That's the take, is Gotham City, Batman growing into his own, leading to Joker. Like, I can't help but think that ain't it. You know what I mean? Just to play devil's advocate to maybe my own point, if you do Batman, you do have to do the Joker. Like, you inevitably have to do the Joker, right? Which kind of gets back to my sort of larger problem with DC and with this new Batman thing in general. It's tough, man. Look, they're in a tough spot. My thing would have been, if you had pitched a Batman movie, do a story with Batman as he's already established. You know what I mean? That's what I would have done. And maybe you use Joker in a way that's very similar to the way they use Hannibal Lecter in Silence of the Lambs, where Batman, like, has to go meet him and has to go talk to him. You know what I mean? Like, that kind of a situation would be really interesting. But I mean, when I saw this news yesterday, I was like, okay, well, I'm going to sit with this. I'm going to, kind of try to think about how I feel about it. I think at the end of the day, like, people get excited about it. It makes a lot of buzz. It gets people talking on social media, which is great. But ultimately, it's like, here's where I'll say, here's kind of where my mind is at with this. If I get other kinds of DC content that scratch the itch I personally have for more DC content, like if the Snyderverse is doing its thing on HBO Max, if Batfleck comes back and does something, because, like, honestly, I think Batfleck should come back and do a movie with Joe Manganiello's Deathstroke and just cut an awesome badass action movie with those two. I'm there for it. That would be really cool. Or even like DC animated or whatever. If they give me a lot more content that scratches my personal itch, then I think I'm more okay with going to experience Matt Reeves' take on this, and this trilogy. But I can't help but feel like Matt Reeves' trilogy and all of the things that are going into it, that's coming from an old regime. And it's also coming from sort of an old way of thinking. You know what I mean? Like, let me just ask this. I just want to know. I want to know with the chat, and maybe, we're a little skewed here because most of us lean Marvel, but I need to know. How do you guys, let's take a step back, dude. Let's take a step back. How do you even feel about a trilogy with Matt Reeves, the Batman? Are you pumped that we're getting a trilogy? Is that something you want? I want to know what you guys even think about that. I want to know. Matt Reeves is a great director. I don't even think I agree with that, Adam. I think Matt Reeves is a good director. Can you point to me, Adam? I would like to know, man. I'd like to know. What is the best movie that Matt Reeves has made? Because I don't think he's a great director. I think he's good, but I would not say he's great. What's the best movie he's made? Let's see. Let's see here. Big no. Look, it's not Nolan. Odd choice to go back to trilogies. We've had so much Batman already. If it's good, then yes. Not at all. I love that they're doing his detective side. I'm with you there. Let's see here. Not necessary. Meh. No. I really like both Ape movies that he did. Okay. He did the second and third one, right? Or did he do the first and third one? Yeah, can you guys do me a favor and smash like on this stream? It really does help us out. If you could smash that like, that would be great. I don't want a trilogy. So yeah, he did the second and third, right? I don't know, man. I like the second movie. I like both of those movies, but that third Ape movie, dude. That third Ape movie is actually why I'm concerned about the Batman. That third Ape movie was like Matt Reeves being like, they think they know what they want. I know what they really want. And then he made that movie. Gonna be real with you. Kind of pretentious. Kind of fucking no thank you. You thought the third Ape movie was amazing, but the third one is the best? We got some love for the third one, for sure. Got some love for the third one. What was wrong with Apes 3? I felt like the narrative choice to focus so much on the ape's perspective was just not for me. To focus that much on the ape's perspective, to me, was not for me. Does a trilogy announcement mean they are abandoning the idea of a greater franchise continuity? Well, I think a lot of that stuff is being reinvestigated right now, but I will tell you this. I think all signs point to Matt Reeves, the Batman, being a completely isolated thing. I think that's what Matt Reeves was fighting for. I think that's what DC gave him. But the truth is the regime that gave him that is not in power anymore. You know what I mean? And I mean, I guess we'll just see. You know, there's a lot of interesting kind of elements to this, right? So DC and Warner Brothers has spent a good bit of money on the Batman, okay? So the idea that they would cancel that movie is pretty absurd. They're certainly going to finish that movie and make that film. But But, and it's a big old but, we don't know how fans will respond to that film. And I think it's fair to bring up that if there's a bunch of Snyder Cut fans that feel as though they feel sort of galvanized. You know what I mean? I love that word. They feel galvanized, right? And they feel like what they just did with the Snyder Cut is indicative of the power that they have as a fan base. Okay? So what if that group of people decide to purposely not support the Batman because what they want is the studio to see that we want Affleck? Or mostly, we just don't want this Batman. What does the studio do in that situation? There's also this element of what if movie theater money and attendance is just going way, way down? Like, I haven't touched on this a lot recently, but guys, AMC might go out of business. Some very smart people in finance expect that we won't see another billion-dollar movie for 2 years. From now, 2 years, we won't see another. There are some people that think that movie attendance, when it comes back, will be like 30 to 40% of what it was before, the economic shutdown and the disease that shall not be named. So, if DC and Warner Brothers spends all of this money on the Batman and it just simply does not make the money, what do they do? You know what I mean? Like, what do they do? Yo, Lucas, good luck in your interview, man. Hope you kill it. So, I'm interested. Like, I'm interested in how all of this is going to go down, man. We're living in a new age in a lot of ways. You know what I mean? Like, we're living in a new age, and there's still plenty of changes to come, I think, in 2020. And we'll just have to see how it all plays out. But guys, I want to get right into Q&A. And I just want to talk with you guys. So bring up any questions that you have, and we'll go from there. It's like, I don't want the Batman to fail, but everything I've seen from the Batman rubs me the wrong way. And we were just talking about this yesterday in our the chat among the producers and stuff. There's a very real chance that this Batman is going to be using guns. You know, there's a very real chance that this Batman is going to be using 9mm guns and bullets. Now, they might do a thing where he's not like, he doesn't have like a gun, but like it's coming out of his wrists or something like that. And it's like, shooting stuff like that. Guys, I just got to tell you, I just got to be real. I'm really not liking what I am seeing from this Batman. So I can't just act. I can't just be like, oh, it's new Batman. This is dope. Let's do it. You know what I mean? I can't do that. There's a ton of different things lining up to make me feel the way I feel about Punisher Batman. I knew we wouldn't make the entire hour without Josh complaining. Look, I tried. You know what I mean? I tried, Adam, okay? I tried. I really tried. No, I didn't really try that hard. Look, man, I'm just going to be real. Let me tell it to you like this. If the bat suit looks ugly, if the Batmobile is hideous, if he's shooting people in the face. If he's skinny AF and looks like he's wearing hockey pads, y'all want me to just act like I'm cool with all that? You want me to just ignore all that shit and just be like, oh, here we go, Batman. Oh, I love Batman. Oh, Batman. Come on. Anyway. I love Batman, especially when he shoots people in the face, rides around in his armored Punisher car, and hits people with his hockey pads. The rant Josh emerges. Nah, I'm not ranting. Please pretend for the clicks. Oh, you're right. You're right. You're right, Adam. What am I thinking? I should pretend. Am I okay? I'm all right. That's actually my real voice. Yeah, dude, Lavis is actually 100% right. This is the Den of Nerds I want. Oh, Anthony has a question. Josh, who do you want to play Harvey Dent in this Batman trilogy if they decide to bring him in? And who do you want to play Talia? Oh, that's interesting. Harvey Dent. I don't know. I think Harvey Dent is going to be in the movie. And we might even have sort of known who Harvey Dent is going to be honest with you. But I don't really know. I'm not good with the fan casting right off the dome. Just being real. Just being real with you. This Batman will have a secret love affair with Alfred. Josh, could White Knight be screen adapted? Oh, what a good question. See, that's my thing. White Knight is an awesome Batman story. Why wouldn't you? Why wouldn't you just do a Batman movie and use the White Knight story? And I'm talking about like the first arc, because I know they sort of spin that out into like a whole universe now and all that. But White Knight is an awesome story. So why wouldn't they use that story and adapt it and make an awesome DC movie? Like, why do we have to keep going back to fucking Year One and Earth One stuff? John Hamm or Matthew McConaughey for Two-Face? Psh, I'm with it, bro. I'm with it. Problem is, we already had the perfect Harvey Dent in Dark Knight. Yeah, no, I feel you. I feel you. Yo, take it easy, Trev. Thoughts on my theory. Star-Lord and Nebula hook up in Guardians 3. I entertained that idea yesterday when I was working on that video. I was like, oh, man, wouldn't that be kind of spicy? That'd be kind of spicy. Let me take this two different ways, Adam. First of all, nah, probably not going to do it. But second of all, Karen Gillan is gorgeous. They need to adapt the Nebula They need to adapt her costume, prosthetics, whatever, so that she looks a little bit less horrible and hideous. Karen Gillan is total babe. And in the comic books, Nebula has like some of her wavy hair. She looks a little less hideous and horrible as the totally mechanical replaced Nebula that we get in the MCU. And so it would be great if they maybe reversed some of the stuff that Thanos did to her. If they reversed that. By the way, I almost made a whole segment in the video yesterday where I was talking about this, and I was like, let's not do that. But yeah, it would be great if they did something like that. So, two-part answer to your question. McConaughey as every role. That'd be interesting. A movie version of Arkham City would be pretty cool. It would be pretty cool. Can we please have live-action Red Son? I don't know if we could have live-action Red Son, but you know what? Maybe we could if they put it on HBO Max. You know? Maybe we could. How about CG Batman and have Kevin Conroy do the voice? It's an interesting thought. Josh, is there a Superman version in the comics that Matt Reeves can adapt into live action to pair up with Robert Pattinson's Batman? Well, okay. Oh, man. Oh, my God. We've already probably made Tara start day drinking with this stream here. But allow me to push it a little bit further to cause her to pop a couple of Xannies or something like that. Check this out. The truth is, there's this thing that I talk about a lot called mise-en-scène. Okay? Mise-en-scène. Basically, it's fidelity. It's fidelity of a film or a live-action creation or even animation that's created through a variety of different things. Like, number one, the music, the framing, the color. All of these things create the mise-en-scène. Okay? And so one of the problems here with DC is that there's no fidelity between the Batman, everything that we've seen in the Batman, everything that we've seen from Matt Reeves' creation. There's no fidelity between that and the rest of the DCEU. So, like, you're asking me, like, what Superman could they adapt? What Superman could they do? How could they take Superman into Matt Reeves' the Batman? I got nothing, dude. I don't know how they can do that. That's part of the problem. The problem is, how could they do that and make it make sense and make it feel like it fits into for the rest of the DCEU? And the thing is, let's talk about how Marvel accomplishes this. Marvel accomplishes this by having certain things in the movies, costumes, actors, visual palette, consistent throughout the entire MCU. It's the same costume designer. It's the same set designer. It's the same location scout. It's probably a lot of similar DPs, especially for second unit pickups and things like that. Marvel created a continuity of visual fidelity. Everything fits together. DC has not. So it's like super hard to see how that could work at all. Super hard to see how that could work at all. Josh, are you saying that DC is mise-en-scène? A little bit, yeah. Let's see here. Josh, what is your realistic projections for the box office for Black Widow at the end of this year and the box office for the Eternals at the beginning of next year? Tough question. I have no idea how to answer that. Like, on the one hand, I have very, very negative. Like, what do you guys think of the Black Widow? How much do you think Black Widow's going to make? Do you think it's going to make over 500 million worldwide? I kind of would put it as probably around 500 million worldwide total, and I think that they would consider that a success considering the state of the world. Hector says 750. Dude, if they do 750 on Black Widow, like I'd have to applaud. I'd have to really applaud. It will make 700 mil. I don't know about that, man. I really don't know about that. 600 mil? Depends on if they keep ticket prices the same. May have to drop prices to fill seats. Ooh, no. They can't do that. I'll catch Black Widow on my Xbox. Yeah, I'm kind of with you there. Alex says $11. Black Widow wasn't going to top that anyways. Yeah, so that's another thing. When you think about Black Widow, there's this big... a lot of people thought Black Widow wouldn't even make... even in a world where none of this stuff happened, Black Widow might have still not made $1 billion. They are dropping ticket sales. Oh, my God. I think that's a horrible idea. Black Widow. We will see... Yeah. What do you guys think Tenet's going to make? Adam, I'm really interested in what you think about this. What do you think Tenet's going to make? Is Tenet still going to release in July 17th? And how much money do you think Tenet's going to make? I'm kind of split on this. I don't know. Like, look, AMC said, I think, that they'll let people watch movies without masks on, you know? So, like, my personal deal would be, like, I would probably, like, wear the mask maybe in the lobby, you know, maybe as I was coming into the theater. But then I'm taking that thing off. You know what I mean? Like, I'm taking that thing off. As long as it's allowed to do so. But the problem there is, if you do that, there's a lot of people that will not go because of that. You know? Man. It's going to be interesting. Black Widow will come out once the social distancing is lightened. It's going to do big numbers. Movies are trying to open by the time Tenet drops. I feel like it'll make $320 million. Tenet will probably make $400 million if Dunkirk made around $550. Huh. I mean, Tenet is sort of the litmus test. Tenet is sort of the movie that all the studios are going to be watching to see how it performs. You know? I'm really interested in how that movie does. I'm really interested in how Wonder Woman does. I'm really interested in how New Mutants will do. I do kind of see what Ryan is saying, and I think that it's kind of interesting that we might be completely out of social distancing in general by the time Black Widow comes out. Lava says, I'm not keeping a mask on or wearing one. They want to catch something? They can catch these hands. We aren't wearing masks to the movies. How are you going to sip soda and eat popcorn? Yeah, dude, for sure. I don't know, man. I feel like we're in phase 2 here in Florida. The theaters are open for only 50% capacity. How do they do that, Hector? Like, what do? They just only sell half the tickets? Do they block off seats? How does that work? How does that work? What's my favorite Nolan film? Probably Inception. Inception's fantastic. They limit seating? Did you watch Bill and Ted trailer? Are you a fan of the movies? Yeah, I love those movies. And I think this concept's pretty interesting. You know, with them being like, you were supposed to fix the world and it didn't, you know? Where I live at, you'd barely know we were in lockdown a couple of weeks ago. Then, poof, the pandemic was gone. Yeah. Look, I think in a lot of ways, we're all trying to make sense of, like, a lot of things that are going on in the world. But I'll just say this. Like, I'm really interested in, like, is there going to be a spike? Are the protests going to create a spike? Because it's kind of like if they don't, I'm going to have some questions. That's all. You know? And then that opens up a whole nother can of worms. Like, what if it gets... what if it gets way worse? You know? 2020, just go away. Florida is already spiking pretty bad. I haven't seen... Look, I'm not saying you're wrong. I just haven't seen any evidence of that. You know? I'm not going to a movie theater for probably 5 months. In NC, we were seeing an increase a week before protesting. Interesting. I thought we were already seeing reports of increased death. Oh, man. Well, this got somber all of a sudden. Okay, June, I hear you. I got a Disney World trip planned for November, so this shit better be done by then. Bro, I had a whole 2020 planned. You feel me? It's going to be real interesting. It's going to be real interesting to see how this all goes down. So let me just ask you guys this. This is what I really want them to do. I'm going to be completely honest with you. This is an outlandish, ridiculous thing. I actually do think they should cancel the Batman. I'm going to say it. I'm just going to say it right now. I think they should cancel the Batman. Cancel the Batman. Cancel it. What's going on with Avengers game? I'm not sure. I think we're supposed to get an announcement soon, or they're showcasing some of it soon. Josh, why do you give such terrible takes? Man, you misspelled incredible there. Why? Josh, what are you hoping comes out of E3 Live? Should have went to the hot take screen. Why do you think... what do you think about people saying Zack Snyder Cut is supposed to replace the current Justice League? I think it's going to. I mean, from what I understand, Zack is playing really nice with Warner Brothers. Warner Brothers is asking him to set some things up in the Snyder Cut or the Snyder Justice League. So why would DC be doing that if they weren't going to sort of treat that as the new continuity? You know what I mean? Give us Chet. Give us Chet. Don't get a big head, Chet. Don't you even think about it. I think we need to cancel Josh. Hashtag give us Chet. Hashtag give us Chet. Yo, this is going to be trending. Hashtag give us Chet. Josh, is it even worth DC's time to make a DCEU? I think they should make solo films until they can establish a solid cast and then build from there. I think that's a fair point. But here's the thing. Have a plan and explain to us what's going on. The current thing that they're doing, which is like, well, of course it's all connected, ha 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 ha, but there's no explanation given, you know? That shit's got to go. They got to explain it. Like, if Reeves' Batman movie is not connected to anything, that's fine. Let us know. Tell us straight up, this is not connected to anything. The continuity with these characters like Aquaman and Wonder Woman is moving forward. Now, I know people have like their own opinions about whether or not we need a shared universe. That's fine. You can have your opinions, but the proof is in the pudding. The continuity is where the value's at. It's what brings the normies in. It's what makes people show up to these effing movies. Why do you think Sony's trying to do the DC thing or trying to do the MCU thing? You know what I mean? Why do you think Star Wars is trying to double down on that sort of stuff, right? So, you know, you might personally think, I don't need a shared universe. That's fine. It's really not about you. It's about the masses. It's about the numbers. It's about the normies. So, if they had created a bunch of solo movies that had a good cast, that worked well together, I'm all for that. But are you saying like you want to then take those characters and then combine them and make them into like an event? Basically just carbon copy the MCU? You just like, is that the move? Like to carbon copy the MCU? Because that's what they did. Freudian slip there? Yeah, maybe. You know what I mean? So like, and they're in such a weird spot because like they've sort of that train has already left the station. Like it's already happened. They committed to a shared universe, but then they allowed Jeff Johns to come in and hack job that shared universe. You know. Then they committed to not telling us anything. Weird decision. Den Nerds live over under 15 million opening weekend for Tenet. Dude, that's a beautiful number you just picked because I really cannot. I don't know. That's a tough one. I want to say over. I want to say over. Man, if it comes in under 15 mil, are you talking worldwide? Or are you talking domestic? Because worldwide, it's almost, if it's opening worldwide, it's almost guaranteed more, right? Domestic? Okay. 15 million. I would say over. If it makes less than 15 million opening weekend, dude, not like everybody in Hollywood is gonna jump off bridges, dude. Like that, I mean, like, but the second trailer only has like 6 million views, dude. Like the marketing for Tenet has been absolutely atrociously bad. The marketing for Tenet has been mind-numbingly bad. But I still think it can do over 15 million. I do, personally. Lavis says, I'm not really excited for Tenet. Anthony, I'm sorry. What's this question? I'll scroll up. What's your question? Off topic. Once they release Indiana Jones 5 on Disney Plus, do you think it makes sense to continue that movie series without Harrison Ford or the movie series to have Harrison Ford? I mean, look, this is where I'm at with that. Here's where I'm honestly at. I don't need any more Indiana Jones. I don't. Indiana Jones is a series of absolutely incredible movies with a shitty one tacked on that was like a clear cash grab. So it's like 3 really good movies, some decent television stuff, and then a shitty cash grab, beat the dead horse movie. I really don't need any more Indiana Jones. You know, like Star Wars. You know, and even, by the way, if you're, like, good on Star Wars, I get that. Like, I totally get it. But the thing about Star Wars is it's a universe. It's a setting. It's expansive. Like, that's interesting. What's the future in the Indiana Jones universe? Our current reality? That shit ain't interesting. You know what I mean? So, I'm good. I'm good on the Indiana Jones. You know what I mean? I'm good. if they do Indiana Jones, Spielberg's not involved, Harrison Ford's not involved, is it really Indiana Jones? There's no distinct, like, what are you going to do? You're going to put a cowboy hat on some motherfucker, give him a whip, and be like, Indiana Jones, we're back. It's like, what? I'm not feeling it. I'm not feeling it. It's not about you, though, Josh. Correction. No, I'm just kidding. The reboot for younger generations starring Chris Pratt would be funny, edgy, and action-packed with better graphics. You know, as much as it absolutely is about me, I will concede the point that, like, yeah, there's potentially a lot of younger people that would like Indiana Jones. But, like, you know what? Even as I'm saying that, like, would they really? Like, are they going to line up to see Indiana Jones? Why not do, like, a different IP? Like, honestly, I think Nathaniel Drake and Uncharted probably more popular with young adults today than Indiana Jones. There's probably a bunch more, and I'm just not, like, all that familiar with it, but there's probably IP and characters out there that would be bigger, you know, for kids. Like, I feel like if you do Indiana Jones and you're targeting, like, a new, younger audience, the only young, new audience that's going to go there, well, there would be a bunch of fans that like Chris Pratt, right? So there'd be people showing up for Chris Pratt. But I think the only people showing up for Indiana Jones are the people that their parents or grandparents are going to force them to go. You know what I mean? My nephews don't even know DC heroes exist? Ooh. That's kind of rough. Peace out, Yoba. Weren't they making an Assassin's Creed movie at one point, or did that happen and I missed it? They made that. They made that Assassin's Creed movie. Give us chat and bring Justin back. To be honest, I think they can reboot Indiana Jones if they're willing to push it forward past Indiana himself. Huh. You know, this brings up this is actually a really interesting conversation. Josh, how is anything going with your haircut? We're going to work on that today, hopefully. They never made an Assassin's Creed movie? I have no idea. I'm pretty sure Fassbender was in that movie. Yeah, I'm pretty sure Fassbender could be traced to a movie that he did play a character in the Assassin's Creed universe. Man, I just had a cool thought and it fell out of my brain. Oh, okay. Here's the other thing. And look, we'll sort of end on this point because I want to know what you guys think about this. Pause the music, chat. So there's a rumor right now, ladies and gentlemen, that James Bond is going to have a son, and that the future of the James Bond franchise might be with James Bond's son. Okay. So I actually think that's a stupid idea. Because James Bond has had a continuity in which we just get James Bond in a new era, in a new actor a lot of the time. Like, you know, the Casino Royale take on James Bond was like James Bond as an origin story in the modern day, you know, when it was created in the modern day with a new take on it. So the James Bond continuity is not an actual continuity. It's like a framework. You know what I mean? So I feel like that's one of those things, man, where the studios are they don't they don't necessarily understand the IP and what is the magic that allows or rather that draws people in, that makes people want to watch these movies, right? Um yeah, that's totally fair. There's probably a lot of James Bond's kids. Well, source material of James Bond is tremendously misogynistic. I would not argue with that. I think it is. Um, man, my brain's going all sorts of different places. Isn't there a? I need help from my comic book people here. Isn't there a comic book that's? I almost want to say this is in Deadly Class, but it could be in a different comic where the concept is that a James Bond like figure has to face all of his like assassin children or his out of wedlock love child people, that they all then become assassins or something, and then he has to like have some kind of conflict with them. For some reason I'm thinking that's in a comic. Is that in Deadly Class? Are his skills stored in his balls? Some of them are, quite literally. Look up genetics. Like, literally. .007 Bond is a destination for a particular agent. Isn't it supposed to be assigned to different agents over time? .007 is a that's interesting, Star Wars Santa. I don't know if that's actually true. I know double O's is a distinction given to different people, but .007 was the distinction for a particular agent, like .006, .009, all these different things. There could definitely be another .007. I understand where you're coming from, but I think that .007, that was James Bond, one character. One character that's reimagined, one character that's just done in a different way over and over and over again. You know what I mean? Never read Deadly Class, but that sounds like you could be right. Yeah, Deadly Class is dope, dude. You should definitely read Deadly Class. Would you like to see live action Archer? I would love to see live action Archer. That would be awesome. That'd be really cool. Take care, Hector. I thought it was a designated identity. Like what? Even the James Bond part of that? Huh, maybe. I want to look into that a little bit more, Santa. I want to look into that. James Bond is James Bond. Leave it alone. If you're going to mess with James Bond, you might as well put Batman in hockey pads. Oh, wait. Oh, Mike. Oh, Mike. Say it ain't so. Say it ain't so, Mike. Live action Archer. John Benjamin voiceover. Yeah. Like, yeah, you are no longer John Smith. You're now .007 James Bond. That's interesting. I don't know. I don't know enough about that to answer definitively. Give me Punisher James Bond. Idris Bond? Yo, I would love, or Idris. Is it Idris or Idris? I'd love Idris Alba. I'd love him as James Bond. I think he'd be great. James Bond is like Doctor Who. They just reboot his face every decade or so. Yeah, agreed. Josh, I don't know why people get so mad that they're thinking of making James Bond African American or Hispanic, because is the author of the books actually specify what his skin color is. Yeah, I mean, like, there's a couple different ways to answer that question. I think mostly, Anthony, people just get mad about things. People just like getting mad about things. So that's number one. Number two, some people perceive things like this through the lens of like the culture war, and so like for them, it's deeper than that. Like for them, it's not just that you're changing an actor's race, right? Just people view it as it's a moving the goalposts or doing something weird in this like culture war. So, um, people don't always have good reasons for feeling the way they feel or acting the way that they feel, but more often than not, they have reasons. You know what I mean? In Skyfall, they go to his family home whose parents' names are Bond. That's interesting. Henry Cavill Bond? I'd love Henry Cavill as Bond. I think he would kill it. Yo, is Trinity up yet? Trinity, you live or are you not streaming today, dude? I know you. I know you had said earlier or on your stream yesterday. I think you said something about when you're streaming. I think you're taking a day off, aren't you? Like, because your streaming schedule is not every day anymore, right? There'll be 4 Jokers, according to Red Letter Media. Oh my God. Good God, man. No, not today? Okay. Well, let's hang out for like, you guys want to hang out a little bit more? Let's hang out for like 10, 15 more minutes, and we'll call it, okay? God, I was a little spicy today. I hope nobody's upset. I apologize. Bonus hour. Look, Adam, here's the deal, man. I think you and I are in the same boat. I'd stream for 4 hours a day. I would just stream. I love streaming. I love hanging out. I love streaming, play some games, watch some videos together, comment, react. I love streaming. But I got a meeting at 3. I got a meeting at 7. I got to crank out a video, and I've got a lot of work to do for the trivia contest tomorrow. So that's not possible. No, I've got a meeting at 3, and I've got a meeting at 5, actually. Oh, boy. Yeah, guys, if you're on one of the trivia teams, can you please get on the Discord channel and get we need everybody's pictures and names. In the newest movie, there's a female agent who has taken the designation 007 while James Bond is retired. It's in the trailer. Oh, really? I haven't seen that trailer. I'll have to check it out. Didn't they do something really whack with that trailer where like they put a teaser for the trailer and then made you go to a website to watch the trailer? That was a stupid move. Man, did you ever talk about the whole J.K. Rowling saying dumb shit again? No, I haven't really talked about it. Like I said, I don't really like getting into the controversial stuff, as weird as it seems. I'm not really into that. However, Lavis, Tara, I believe Dave and Ken Colon are starting a show. We got a show coming called Den of Nerds After Dark, and I feel like they will get a little bit more into the spice. You know what I mean? Into the spice for all of that. And look, you know what the thing is too? Like, let me just explain this. It's not that I don't like thinking about these things or talking about these things. I love thinking about these things and talking about these things. But what I don't like is thinking out loud on my platform, because that just leads to things being taken out of context, to people having things hit them in a different way. People want to weaponize, your thoughts and your feelings and what you say in one moment, and they want to sort of hold it up as, your report card for your soul, right? So social media and the way people interact right now is like super broken. So it's not that I don't want to talk about these things. It's that I don't want to it's a potential attack vector. You know what I mean? Like I saw this interview. Maybe it was Rogan when Elon Musk last did Rogan. And he was talking about like giving up all his possessions. It's a really interesting thing. And Rogan was like, "Why would you want to give up all your possessions?" He was like, "Because it's a potential attack vector." So I don't like talking about these things because it's an attack vector potentially. You know what I mean? I hope that makes sense. It's like she's really in a sort of a lose-lose situation. She's in a lose-lose situation because I understand the spirit of what she's saying. Like I kind of can get I can wrap my head around what she's trying to say. But I just got to be real. Like when I looked at the way she delivered it, I was like, what? Like it's just such a bad look. Like it's just that's not how you do that. You know what I mean? And it's one of these things where people need to understand that if they do have a large platform, if they do have a lot of attention on themselves, they have to understand that when they say things, it's going to be poked, prodded, dissected, and all of that stuff. So just do the right thing and really think about what you're saying. You know what I mean? I think in a lot of ways, she's probably super isolated from like a lot of other people. And I mean, she has more money than the Queen of England. She has a bigger castle than the Queen. You know what I mean? So she's probably like to say she's elitist and out of touch is an understatement. You feel me? Nice Doctor Strange poster. Thank you, man. Thank you. Josh, don't forget our meeting today at 5 p.m. I have not forgotten, Lavis. I am very excited. You would think she could be more tactful being a renowned author. Yeah, for sure. For sure. It's one thing to get caught saying something in the heat of a moment. It's another to start tweeting highly controversial opinions completely unprovoked for no reason. Jacob's Quest, look, to be honest with you, I totally feel you, dog. I totally feel you, dog. I will say this, though, just to play slight devil's advocate to what you're to that point. You know, you're saying heat of the moment. We don't know what was going on in her life when she did tweet that. It very well could have been the heat of a moment. You know, that's another problem with social media. The context isn't there. You feel me? Josh, were the Jason Bourne and Jack Reacher movies supposed to be America? What James Bond is to the UK, in your opinion? Yeah, I would say so. I would absolutely agree with that statement, Anthony. I would absolutely agree with that statement. You know, Jason Bourne and Jack Reacher are probably the American versions of that. And I think Tom Clancy, I think he even had other characters like that in his older books and stuff like that. You know what I mean? When we have Mission Impossible movies, do we need James Bond movies? I think so. I think here's my opinion. Here's my opinion on that. Mission Impossible and James Bond ultimately should be elevating each other's games. Okay? So like when I saw Mission Impossible 3, I thought Mission Impossible 3 was like an elevation of the spy game. There's some stuff in there that like while we're watching a spy movie, I was just super into like the way that they were using the lip reading. Like there's that one dude that's talking to Ethan and then he's lip reading and they're having this completely other conversation in the middle of having an actual conversation. And I was like, dude, that's really crazy. I've never seen that before. Really elevates the game, right? But then, like, you look at, like, Casino Royale and you look at what some of those movies are doing, I'm like, wow, that really elevates the game. And so, ultimately, yeah, I think we do need both of those kinds of movies and franchises because you want the movies to get better and you want just, like, that genre to be improved. And sometimes you need people to take a chance and do something weird. And maybe it doesn't work, but maybe that experiment informs people that make them later. Do you know what I mean? Could a big screen crisis fix any continuity issues in the DCEU? Yeah, absolutely it could. Absolutely. But it's that's a tricky thing to pull off, dude. A big screen crisis? Good God, man. Good God. That would be wild. MI3 is so good. They've gotten a little more outlandish as we've gone on, but I still enjoy the franchise. Yeah, I love Mission Impossible 3. I think Mission Impossible 3 is legit. John Wick, dope. Everything after it was trash. I just like the way you wrote that. Yeah. John Wick is legit, dude. Those movies are great. And they've gotten better and better, right? That's what's so crazy about the John Wick movies. How often is it that we get sort of a novel franchise? Okay? See you later, Beckett. So we get a novel franchise, and then the sequel's better. And then they do a third movie, and it's even better. That shit is rare. That is rare. So yeah, John Wick gets all the juice, all the love. I miss Tara. Tara probably checked out as soon as she realized I wasn't gonna be positive on the Batman. and I tried. I really tried. Literally for her sake, I tried. I saw Doctor Strange 12-minute preview in IMAX 3D. I recommend the movie in IMAX 3D after the preview. Yeah, dude. That's where I got that poster. Or over there. That's where I got that poster. You just described Back to the Future trilogy. Fair point. Fair point. But it's rare. It's like that's like a really rare thing, you know? You could maybe say that the Lord of the Rings trilogy is the same way. But it's rare. Borderlands. That would be an interesting concept. What if they did Borderlands in live action? Is that kind of what you guys are talking about? That would be kind of cool. Josh, and don't forget, they're thinking of doing a spin-off of John Wick called Ballerina Corporation. Oh. No, Josh, she's still asleep. But I'll tear all your outlandish comments. Yeah, but she was here earlier. She was here in the beginning of the chat. Don't make me spam the chat. In the Mouth of Madness is free to watch on Vudu right now. Wait a minute. What do you mean, In the Mouth of Madness? What you talking about, Willis? What you talking about, Willis? I think the smartest thing John Wick does is have each movie be immediately after the last. Dude, good call, Jacob's Quest. Good call. That is a great point. Yeah, what's Mouth of Madness? What you talking about, Willis? Come on, Trinity. Tell us what it is. Yes, Josh, they are doing it. What do you mean they're doing it? Are you talking about the John Wick spin-offs? I'm good with that. Seems pretty cool. All right, guys, 5 more minutes. 5 more minutes. Could take like 1 or 2 more questions, okay? And then I'm going to get on out of here. I got to get that mic. Send me that today, please, so I can possibly get it before tomorrow. I got to be honest. I'm not going to be able to send that mic to you. I'll talk to you about it later. I mean... Yeah, well, I'll talk to you about that later. Return of Robert Meyer Burnett to Campia today. Oh, that's cool. Good for him. Good for Robert. You know, I saw, you know, again, not something I super, not something that I comment on a lot. But I was really glad that Robert Butler III and Robert Meyer Burnett had a conversation. I think that conversation is super key right now. And so it was cool that those gentlemen had a conversation. Because they both were out of line in some ways. In the mouth of madness, kind of like in the multiverse of madness. What you mean, dude? I'm going to have to look that up. Any new Star Wars news? Not really. Not really. I mean, we got the game, you know? I wonder, have they officially canceled Star Wars Celebration yet? I don't know if they did. I want to get a highly publicized controversy one day. No, you don't. It's a horror movie? Oh, well then... Oh, thank you. PS5 reveal thing back on for Thursday. Rona alert. Rona alert. Any new updates with the DCEU? Just joined, so I may have missed what you said. Cavill-wise? Nah, I don't know. The Cavill thing's interesting. Apparently, the word is that there's still a possibility that they want to cast a new Superman. And I'm like... DC, why you do this? DC, why you do this? Look, I mean, Trinity, look, different strokes, different folks, man. If it's horror, I'm out. I'm not a horror guy. Anyone looking forward to the Saw spinoff, Spiral, that's being made by Chris Rock? That trailer was cool. I heard about that, but I don't remember the trailer. I don't remember that trailer. After Uncharted live-action movie, what video game... what do you want to see made into a movie? God of War, Borderlands, Ghost Recon, or Last of Us if they didn't decide to make the HBO Max series? Halo. Halo. I'm a huge Halo fan. I think the lore in Halo is incredible. There have been a lot of attempts to take Halo into live action. Most of them kind of bullshit. But Halo's dope. So I would love to see a Halo movie or a Halo series, which would be a great show. They technically were working on a show for Showtime, live action Halo. But I just feel like it's going to be garbage. You know, like I would love for it to not be garbage, but I feel like when's the last time Showtime put a big budget behind a show and it was dope? Maybe there is a show. I just don't know about it. You tell me. You tell me what you think, huh? Is there a Showtime show that I'm missing that's incredible? Yu Yu Hakusho. That could be cool. Isn't Universal or something working on a Mario movie? I don't know. I don't know about that Mario movie. Penny Dreadful was good, but the ending was bad. That's interesting. Interessado, ladies and gentlemen. Interessado. All right, boys and girls, we're going to call it there. Thank you so much. Thank you so much for being here, hanging out with me in the morning. Hanging out in the morning. Talking about nerdy shit. Come on by to the Den of Nerds Live. 10 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. See you guys in the next one, all right? As I always say, I hope you're having an awesome and a nerdy day. And I'll see you in the next video.